Hey there, everybody, it's Maggie with today's plank story. But remember, you can do any move that makes you happy, right? So whether that's deep breathing, getting on all fours and doing some cat stretches or spinal rotation, or putting in your headphones and taking a walk. It doesn't have to be plank, although plank is fun. This will be a long one though. All right, let's get the clock on for whatever move you have selected. The clock starts now. So for those of you who don't know, I have a couple of beehives as a hobby. So we raise honeybees, and it's very common for them not to survive the winter. So we've done this 8 years and we've only had our bees survive the winter twice, and they didn't survive this winter. And I had a big debate about, should I continue doing this? Maybe I'm just not a good beekeeper. Although again, I don't think it's entirely me as a beekeeper. I think bees are struggling. And so we do have new bees coming, but in part of mulling this over, I thought about one of my worst days as a beekeeper. And this was years ago. It was one of the days I was collecting the honey, which is one of the more challenging days you're working with the bees. You are robbing them of honey. They're not happy about that. It's the day I find I'm most likely to get stung. And at the time I wore, a beekeeper mask and hat and gloves, but otherwise I wore a long sleeve shirt under a flannel and really hardy jeans tucked into wool socks in winter boots. And it was about 85 degrees. So the bees are already cranky. I was getting cranky. I'd been stung like 6 times. I was so frustrated. I kind of closed up the hive and I walk away, because when you're tense, the bees get tense. And I just was like, I just need to calm down, take a minute. And as I walk away, I realize that a bee has gotten inside my mask and it's in my ears or in my ear. And I'm not a calm person, so I can only best describe what happened next as practicing stop, dropping, and rolling while having an epileptic seizure. I was just flailing and trying to get my hat off and trying to get the bee out of my ear, very spastic, frustrated, and then I was just done. I got the bee out, but it had stung me, so I run in the house and I take a Benadryl and I pull my pants down and I'm icing all the welts from the bee stings. And I have a moment of a pity party. Why do I do this? This is awful. This is terrible. And then I realize no one is solving this problem, right? I have to finish the project. I can't leave it half done. And I literally have to pull up my big girl pants and head out. So I pull up my pants and I go out to check to put my hat back on. But because of all the flailing, I've dented it and damaged it and put a hole in it. So I kind of make it shape back and cover it in duct tape. So now I look like what I've described on an 85-degree day: the jeans, the flannel, the winter boots, and this duct taped together bee hat. And I do go out and I finish the job. And I explain this day at the time to a friend who says, why would you do this? This sounds awful. Nothing about this seems fun. And it's kind of what got me back to deciding this year to try again with the bees, is that most of the time it isn't that hard, right? Honeybees are very unlikely to sting you. They know that they die if they sting you. So it's a last resort. So, I generally only get stung on the day I collect honey when it's very invasive. So also, normally I sit right outside on a nice day and I watch them fly back into the hive after they've been out collecting pollen, and on their backs and their little legs will be covered in bright yellow, dark yellow, red, orange, all sorts of color pollen. And that's kind of fun to watch. They're just endlessly cool creatures. They dance and vibrate to give each other directions and tell each other where the good pollen is. And I don't mean to sound prejudiced, but I swear their honey is the best honey I've ever tasted. And it's different every year, and that's fun too. So I am trying again. It is a hard challenge because the bees have so many obstacles against them. But I will say one of the things they think is that we sort of bred aggression out of bees, right? And that's one of the reasons that they're sickly, is they don't fight for themselves as much. So when I do get an aggressive hive, I try to remind myself, it is okay. This is good. My couple of stings is because they're doing better. I have also invested in a full bee suit, and this has helped tremendously. Although, a lot of beekeepers will go in with nothing. They're much braver than I am. People always say you get used to being stung. No, I have never gotten used to being stung. It's not fun. Anyway, that's the story. The bees will be here in less than a month, fingers crossed, and we will try again. So that was a very long plank, 4 minutes and 38 seconds. I hope you picked a different move. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening.